Hello students, today we are going to start second method of measurement of national income, that is income method. Actually the income received or generated in the country by the residents of the country is to be integrated, for which we will be able to calculate the factor income and which will be called as the domestic income of the country. We know the concept of normal resident as well as the domestic territory, which we have learned through my previous videos. So according to that, whatever income is generated by normal residents of a country should be integrated or summed up to arrive at the domestic income. So let us see the formula to calculate the national income through the income method. The income which is generated by the normal resident of the country can be divided under four heads, that is land, labor, capital and enterprise. All the factors of production receive the factor incomes under four heads. First head is compensation of employees. Compensation of employees can be again segregated under three heads. First is wages and salaries in cash. It means all kind of wages and salaries which is received by the employees from the employer. It may be in form of the wages received in cash, basic salary or other salary received in cash. It may be the perks received in cash. It may also include the bonus received in cash. Second head may be wages and salaries in kind. It means all the extra benefits which are given from the side of employer and availed by the employees, but they are not paying for it. It may be included as the imputed wages and salaries, such as free cars provided by the employer. It may also include the rent-free house for which the employees are not paying, but it is given by the company or the organization. So all such allowances are included in this head, for which the payment is not done but benefits are availed by the employees. Third head is employer's contribution to social security scheme. Here it is to be noticed that it is not the employee's contribution but the employer's contribution to social security scheme, means the employers which contribute as per laws for the pension, for the gratuity, for the EPF of the employees. So all such schemes are to be included over here. When we will add all these three items, we will arrive at compensation of employees. Here it is to be noted that if in a question compensation of employees is given and we are given separate heads such as wages and salaries in cash, so it is always implied that a compensation of employees is plus of 1, 2 and third bit. So if we will include first bit or second bit separately given in the question with compensation of employees, it will be a double counting. So these subheads are to be excluded or to be ignored if compensation of employees is directly given in the question. Second bit is rent and royalty. Rent means that part of income which is generated from the ownership of land or building, and this is also considered as a productive service from the side of the factors of production. So this bit is also included here. And royalty means income received for granting leasing rights of subsoil assets. These are given to the owners of mineral deposits such as the coal, iron ore, natural gas, which can be extracted through the contractors. So this is also included under this head. The third head is income from interest is generated. Third head is the interest. Interest is generated from giving the loans or giving our own capital to the firm or to the organizations for which interest is taken in return. So this is also called as the income of factors of production. Fourth bit is profit. Profit can be actually divided under three heads. First is the corporate tax. Corporate tax means the tax which is paid by the firm. It is actually a direct tax, not the indirect tax. It is paid by the firms to the government directly. It is also called as profit tax or business tax. Second part of profit is dividend. After paying the taxes from the income which is generated by the firms, out of that, first the corporate tax is paid. After paying the taxes, whatever income is left from the profits is considered or distributed as dividends. Dividends is the profit which is distributed among the shareholders of the organization. Third is the retained earning, the income or the profit of the firms, which is actually the income of the firms. When dividends are distributed, a part of that profit is retained in the business for future prospectors. If there is a plan for expansion or there is plan for reconstruction, then some profit is retained which is not distributed as dividend. This profit is called as retained earning, which is also called as saving of corporate sector or corporate units. When we will add all these three items, we will arrive at profit. Profit, if this head is directly given to us, we should not add any of these items, otherwise it will be also considered as double counting, as I explained in case of compensation of employees. Last head is income of mixed employee. Sometimes it happens that it is not possible to divide the income generated amongst the four heads. It happens in the case of sole proprietorship, or it happens in the cases where on own land the business is done by the owner or the employer. So best examples can be doctor opening a clinic in his own house, a farmer working as a labor on his own land. So in this case it is not possible to segregate the income under various heads, because a concrete income, a combined income will be generated. So all this income which is generated in a combined way for such kind of activities in which the owners are themselves the workers or the owners are themselves the holders, then it will be considered under the head mixed income of self-employed, because these are also the productive services. When we will add all these 5 items, we will arrive at NDP at FC, which is called as domestic income. Then from NDP at FC, we need to add NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad, to arrive at national income, which is NNP at FC. So I hope you are able to understand the income method. Now there are a few important terms or important points which should be kept in mind, which should not be included while calculating the national income by income method. These are some of the precautions which should be kept in mind while calculating national income through income method. First and foremost point is, we are not required to include transfer incomes anytime. Transfer incomes are such incomes which are not the productive incomes or which are not the earned incomes, such as gifts not to be included, pensions not to be included. So such transfer incomes for which any effort has not been made, which is not called as productive income, is not to be included. Second is the gains from the second hand goods. If any machinery is say sold, which was utilized by the organization for last many years, if there is any gain generated by selling such machinery, that gain is not to be included. Same way, if there is any gain on sale of shares or debentures, that is also not to be included. If there are any windfall gains Windfall gains means gains from lotteries, if any money is spent from the side of organization on that, that is also not to be included. Income out of past saving such as debt duties, gift duties, these are also not to be included. So these are a few important points which should be kept in mind while calculating the national income from income method. So further I'll explain you how to do the practical questions related to this chapter and this particular head, that is income method, in my next video. Thank you.